Hello everyone, and welcome to another Moveset video, and today we are going to be doing Fearow. Now, before we get to Fearow, I wanna mention a mistake I made real quick. I skipped Pidgeot. Pidgeot was supposed to be before Eradicate, but I kinda skipped it. And like, after I fully prepared this video, I was like looking at all the other normal bird type Pokemon, or normal flying type Pokemon, and I'm like, wait a minute, where is Pidgeot in the Pokédex? Then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, whoops. So yeah, that will be next video. I will get Pidgeot. So for any of you that noticed that, which it seems like no one, because no one yelled at me in the comments, you guys are supposed to do that. That's your job. You're supposed to notice my mistakes and yell at me in the comments about them. That's your job. Okay? But yeah. So I will get on to that. We'll get our Pidgeot slash Mega Pidgeot guide either later today or tomorrow, depending on how much time I have. So yeah. So now let's get to Fearow, because he's the one we're doing guide for today. And first of all, Fearow sucks. Let's just say there's only 3 Pokemon in the game this thing can one-shot, and that is Butterfree, Beedrill, and Hitmonlee. Those are the only Pokemon it can one-shot. The only ones. So yeah, I mean in Let's Go, one-shots are not as common in previous games. So I mean, it's not the worst thing, but there is also another fact that makes Fearow completely useless, and that is that it's completely outclassed by Dothreo. And I'm going to actually show this off right now. So if I go grab a Dothreo, take a look at its base stats, and we got 110 attack and 110 speed. And then, like, if you look at its defensive stats, like at HP and defensive stats, they're pretty similar to Fearow's. Very similar. Also, I have this set to level 50, so that's why these ones look green and these ones look red. But this is 90, and the speed is 100. So Fearow has 10 more speed and 20 more attack, which just makes it a ton more better. I mean, yes, Fearow has a 1 point more special defense and I think 5 point more in HP. Yeah, but it does have lowered physical defense because Dothreo has 70. So yeah, pretty much Dothreo is just a way better form of Fearow. So I don't see much point in using Fearow. I mean, their movesets are even similar. Like if I go here, we see they both have Drill Peck, they both have Facade, which as you can see is what I'm using here. I don't think, does this have Drill Run? That might be one thing Fearow has going for it. Yeah. So Fearow does have Drill Run, which could work, but as I'm going to show, Drill Run on Fearow isn't the most useful thing. Also, Fearow does have U-Turn, which Dothreo doesn't, but Dothreo has Sword Stance, so I mean, yeah, so let's just get rid of him. We're talking about Fearow. This ain't a Dothreo guide, this is a Fearow guide, so let's get back to that. So yeah, so I recommend Jolly Nature, that way you can get that speed as high as possible. Although if you don't feel it's as important to outspeed Pokemon, because Fearow it's going to be a revenge killer. That's the only way you can properly use it. If their opponent's Pokemon has defeated yours and Fearow is super effective on it, then you can send it in, Drill Peck them twice, and kill them. Because Drill Peck will pretty much 2-shot KO any Pokemon it's super effective on in the game, minus those 3 that'll one-shot. Also, one to mention is Venusaur is also an exception. That's a 3-shot, assuming it hasn't taken like 10% damage prior to you sending out Fearow. Although do note that Venusaur will be using Giga Drain to heal itself at the same time, so that might offset some things. But yeah. So that's kind of how it is. Basically, it's just Drill Peck. That's how our that's how we're basically battling. This is gonna be the move you use 90% of the time. I'm pretty sure. Uh, Other moves I do have here though is Facade. It's literally the only good physical attack you have. Excuse me. I mean, there's quick attack, and we got headbutt. But headbutt's literally the same thing as Facade. Just headbutt can flinch, but this, if we get status, Facade could be better. Like that's the only use we'd have for Facade. If there's a kind of not super duper defensive Pokemon, Facade could work better than Drill Peck, assuming Drill Peck isn't super effective, assuming you are status. But pretty much just go for Drill Peck. We also do have Drill Run, so you can hit electric types and those ground rock types after, like, pretend you kill a Pokemon, then they switch those in. And you're like, okay, Fearow's useless. I'm going to use Drill Run, and you'll get, like, about 30% damage. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. You get at least 30. So it's something. It's just something you can have. So it's neat being able to kill something possibly and then get 30 off of someone else. That's kind of how you want to be doing the game. If you can get a kill plus more is how you want. And then there's just U-turn, so you can just, if you realize, oh, this is a bad scenario, I need to get the heck out of here, and you know you're going to outspeed. That's why I recommend Jolly, so that you can utilize U-turn much better. Because you'll be outspeeding, because the 100 speed tier, you outspeed a good amount, but there is a lot of Pokemon in the 100 speed tier, so you will be speed tying a lot of things, so you need to make note of that. But yeah, so that you can just use this to just get some chip damage and switch out, like if you know that either your opponent might switch out, you might be like, oh, I know he has a Golem on his team, he is most likely going to switch out to resist my Drill Peck, so I'm just going to U-turn the same turn, so he switches out, see what he switches out into, then I U-turn and switch out into what's super effective on the Golem, and then can possibly deal with the Golem, assuming he doesn't have a Pokemon to switch out for that. But most Pokemon don't want to be switched out into. I mean, Golem, of course, in this scenario would be good switch, assuming you don't predict it, but yeah, so there's just kind of things like that that could be useful. So if you could get those predictions, that will be great. Do note, Stealth Rocks is deadly, because you will, those Pokemon that you will be one-shotting, or not one-shotting, two-shotting, like the fighting types, most of the fighting types. This is basically for most fighting types. So if you got like Machamp, Primeape, Hitmonchan, and Poliwrath, all those Pokemon, I'm pretty sure will one-shot you with Ice Punch, assuming you took Stealth Rock damage. So Stealth Rocks is something you really need to worry about against those Pokemon, because yeah, they can kill you, assuming that they have that move and they put the Stealth Rocks up. So there's that. I mean, you will get some damage off because you outspeed literally every fighting type in the game, but yeah, I'm pretty sure out every fight. Let me actually double check Primeape. I don't know how fast he is. 95, yeah, you outspeed. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you would outspeed Primeape if you had a... Because the other nature you could go for, if you want more attack power, which I don't recommend, is Adamant. But you might be sped by Primeape, and if that's the case, then Primeape will kill you with 2 Ice Punches, so... That's why I just recommend Jolly, just so you know what you're gonna be outspeeding and speed tying. So yeah, I mean, looking at it, I only have one moveset here because looking at this, that's honestly all that it has. I mean, there is Sky Attack. If you don't want to use Drill Peck or want to switch out some other moves, you could use Sky Attack, which, I mean, it has a 30% chance to flinch and a high crit ratio, but I mean, it's also got 90% accuracy. So you could go through all this, 2 turns, just to miss. And I don't like that. I wish they would have buffed this to 100. Although maybe it is buffed to 100 in the game. Actually, I think this does have 200 base power, though. I'm pretty sure they buffed this like the same way they buffed Solar Beam, the 200 base power, so... I mean, it could be worth the risk, but it also could be bad. I need to double check the accuracy for that, but I'm positive it's 200 base power. But yeah, so that's also something you can risk. And then other moves, I mean, you could do quick attack if they're like very low. You do have stab on that, so it's not bad. There's protect for double battles. I didn't want to actually click that. And I don't recommend roost. You're not tanky enough. And substitute if you want to risk that. You could do that if you predict status. I mean, with Facade you sort of maybe want status, but if you just full out predict that there's gonna be status, why do I keep clicking stuff? If you full out predict that you're gonna get status move on you, could just do substitute. That way you have that out and their status move is useless, assuming they don't outspeed you. But yeah, so that's kind of just all the options. If you were to put substitute on, I would get rid of maybe U-turn because it's not gonna be the most. I mean, maybe even facade if you want to. It does. It's really difficult. I mean, there is agility, but that's not gonna be too useful on Fearow either. So yeah, Fearow just kind of it doesn't have much for it, which kind of sucks because it's going against another Pokemon which has basically better move set, not better coverage, but a better move set and stats. So it's just yeah, it kind of sucks for Fearow. Fearow's just kind of left in the dust and it just can't do anything really. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's all that I'm gonna be talking about. There's not really much. I'm just gonna put facade back here just because why not? But yeah, so that's Fearow. It's kind of disappointing. But yeah. So yeah, so gonna be getting to that Pidgeot video. I will get to that. I'm sorry for all of you waiting for that and then me skipping it. So I'm gonna get to that or I don't know if it'll be right after this. I might be tomorrow. I don't know. Sometime after this one, and that will be up for all of you that are interested in that video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more guides like this. I'm doing every Pokemon in Pokédex order. At least I'm trying. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed and bye.